Pacific time zone. It might be that time. Let's see if Twitch agrees. Yep. Hey, everybody, I'm Joshua. And I guess this little project I'm doing right now is called Lunch Break Roguelike, where I take my lunch hour and I work on a small project. I'm working on making a little roguelike game in Python. And this is just kind of, this is day two. So if you want, this is open source. You can go to github.com/joshuaskelly/lunchbreakrl. You can fork it, you can clone it, you can play around. I'm trying to be good about, let me go here. I'm tagging the beginning of every episode. So let me go to my repositories to lunchbreakrl. So if you want to jump to where the code is, so if you're a future person, hey future person, and you're watching on YouTube or some other video archive, you can always just do a git checkout and then EP1, and the code will be put to a detached state right where I am right now. And if you do git status, it'll tell you, hey, you're detached. Be careful, you're not working in any branch. If you want to, and that's cool if you just want to kind of see what I'm doing. And to get back, just do a git checkout master, and that will put you back on track with the latest and greatest source code. So normally I normally work on Delver. I do that every Sunday. And my Delver collaborator, Chad, suggested, why not play a roguelike? Folks might know what that means, but why not play one just to give an idea of what I'm building towards? So I'm just going to play a little bit of a roguelike called Infra Arcana. It happens to be one of my favorite roguelikes, and it is pretty darn roguelikey. Yeah. So I'm going to be a war veteran. The irony is not lost on me. So that is basically our class, and these are a big list of skills we could choose from. My head is blocking some of them. But yeah, there's actually like several pages worth of skills to choose from. The green ones are the ones we already have because of the class. The red ones are the ones we haven't met the prereqs for, so you can see there on the right, I need to have 2 more traits before I can choose this one. But I think I'm just going to go with expert melee fighter because it just makes it easy for me to hit stuff with a melee weapon. And then my name, let's call him Sergeant Charlie. All right, this is the story of Sergeant Charlie. I stand on a cobbled forest path. Ahead lies a shunned and decrepit old church. I know the things that dwell below, and the cult of the starry wisdom, and the monstrous sacrifices dedicated to the rulers. But now they are weak, only deranged fanatics grasping at false promises. I will enter these sprawling catacombs and rob them of their treasures and knowledge. At the depths of the abyss lie my true destiny, an artifact of non-human origin called the Shining Trapezohedron, a window to all the secrets of the universe. So if you haven't heard of Infra Arcana before, it is a roguelike that kind of is very Lovecraftian, but it's also like very kind of B-movie inspired too. Like if I were to look at my inventory, like I start off with like dynamite and Molotovs, and so yeah, so think like 1940s style with like weirdness and cult people. So the little white figure in the center there is me, and I'm moving around, exploring. If you notice, this Infra Arcana is a single screen roguelike, so we're not panning or scrolling the camera around at all. And you bump to do stuff. Like so, to open this door here, I just bump it and it opens. And now I'm inside the church, and there's all these pews. You can hit V to look at stuff. So here's a church bench. There are shrubs in the church. There's a carpet. And then you go to the stairs down. Infra Arcana is nice that all you have to do is bump the stairs and it brings up a menu. Some of the more traditional roguelikes, you actually have to hit a special key combo to go down or upstairs. But let's go down. This is actually the game proper. Usually in the first area is pretty much the same. I think they randomize the trees. There's also wolves that can appear, but I didn't get any wolves, which is strange. So let's see. So I'm walking down a corridor. Yeah, this is pretty quiet. Up. So ooh. Okay, I think that's a mass of worms. Yeah, a worm mass. which is kind of bad news. A slithering conglomeration of carnivorous worms. They usually dwell beneath level 2. A worm mass will remember hostile creatures for at least 10 turns, and it has improvision. So this is an uh, out of depth monster. I think I'm probably best hitting it with dynamite. Let's try that, or Molotov maybe. So hit. Let's try Molotov, and then T to throw, and then T again. There we go. Set the yeah. The problem with sometimes the worm masses when you hit them they split and they're a real pain. Hey Tyreek, no. This is a different series I'm trying out called Lunch Break Roguelike. So I'm working on a small roguelike project during my lunch breaks, and I was just playing an actual roguelike so folks know kind of what to expect. Um, yeah, there's a fountain. Ooh, and again, two magenta potions, so you can walk over them and hit G to pick them up. And I don't know what they do, but they're in my inventory. Um, yeah, again, if you play Delver, you know that we have random potions. It's a pretty stereotypical roguelike trope. Just exploring around. There are the stairs down. Explore a little bit. Oh no! Why are there so many worms on this level? That's the worst. I can't put any distance. There we go. Let's try. Let's try. Oh no, there's a reanimated corpse too. Oh man. Okay. So let's just bail. So let me see. Let me see. What do I have? Yeah. So you can hit Z to swap between your primary and secondary weapons. So I have a hatchet or a Colt 1911, which I guess I can hit F to fire and shoot the spider with, and spider splatters everywhere. Oh man, there's a lot of spiders there. Let's hit him with our good old friend Molotov. Oh, now we have a whole bunch of flaming spiders to worry about. Okay. There we go. Then here's a scroll, and these scrolls, like the potions, are random. I think, yeah, they have these weird kind of generated names. I'm not sure if they're the same playthrough, the names are the same playthrough for playthrough or not. Yeah, so this is kind of what my aim is to build with my lunch hour. I think I've spent enough time playing this roguelike, so hopefully folks know um, what I'm aiming towards. It's called Infra Arcana. And I dig it because it's like a mix between Lovecraft and the old video game Blood, and just like cheesy like B movie stuff. But yeah, let's get to work. So let's go to here. Let's open up our editor. Right now I'm just using Visual Studio Code because it's still pretty small. Sorry about getting so confused about this stupid map. Yeah, because it's a list of rows, so the y and the x need to be flipped here. But I was thinking a couple things. So one, actually, let me git reset or git clean hdf. There we go. Cool. Git reset. There we go. So this should be right where everybody else is at. So what I'm going to do is with this map, I was creating a 2D array, and stumbling through that. I was thinking that's kind of dumb. Why not just do this? So map equals tdl.console. And it takes in a width and a height parameter, so let's make it 40 by 30. Which basically is what we want it to be anyways. And then here we could just say map. No, we need to do console.lit map. And that will draw our map onto the console, and then we'll draw our player on top of that. And it should be, let me double check that. Python game.py. Yeah, cool. So now we just need to put some data into our map. We can just do a map.drawChar. at 0, 0, and I could put in the little hash bang, or the hash, yeah, and now you can see up here in this corner, it's there. And actually, let me real quick, I think I did this, but I undid reverted the results, but let's, just for the sake of clarity, I'm going to embiggen the font so we can, you can see actually what's going on here. So let's just open up this. I'm going to try to avoid doing art on the stream. It's going to be mostly a programming stream. I do own a copy Adobe. I think this was an issue I've had before, where it just never takes. But I do legitimately own it. Let's just let it do that off screen. F12 image size. Let's just make it 400 times bigger. That's file, save as, and let's change the name because TDL uses a little bit of magic when determining the tile size. But as long as those agree, we'll be all right. Close that. And here, this set font, we need to change it to the 32 by 32 version. And now when we run it, hopefully this is way more like visible on the recording. So yeah, so we have our little at symbol, and we have our wall symbol. So let's close this out, and let's do a little bit of cleaning up of our repo. So this test.py was stuff I lifted from the TDL example, so we don't need that anymore. So I can just do a rm test.py. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm also going to this terminal 8x8. I'll remove that. What else? I think that's okay. Let me just run it real quick, make sure I haven't blown anything away that I need. Python game.py. Cool, that still works. Yeah, so let's do git status. Let's do let's say git add terminal 8x8 underscore gs underscore row.ping git status. Then git add test.py. So I have the green ones are changes I have staged. So let's just do a git commit -a/-m removing files. Okay. And let's also git add terminal. Let's add that, and let's also add game.py git commit. Okay, so I just committed a couple changes and I'm sending them out to my repo. There we go. Hey Dakota, hey Test the Coil. There we go. Nice. Okay, so I guess some of the changes I made are the map is now just a console, and actually map is it's not a reserved word. Like for example, like from and import and class, those things are like keywords in Python. But Python also has these concept of built-in, so map is actually a built-in method. So I probably ought to not use that. And actually, this whole map module name is also probably a problem. I was thinking about maybe structuring it a little bit differently, so let's go ahead and let's rename this. Let's rename this to level.py. This will represent a level. I'll rename the class to level. And all this is going to have is it's just going to be a wrapper around the console for now. Emburo, good evening from Germany. Good evening or good afternoon from Seattle or the surrounding area. So import TDL, and then now the constructor needs to take a width and a height, and this data equals TDL dot console width comma height. I'm going to add a draw method, draw self. I think that's and console. This will draw that to itself. So console.lit self.data. Cool. So that should be a nice little wrapper around the console. So here we can say level. Actually, let's also say from level import level. And this is now just a level object. And then, ooh, okay, so we need to support this as well, I suppose. Let's just add a method for that. Def draw care self, and it takes an X chord, a Y chord, a foreground equals, I'm going to say, it's white, I believe. And background equals, should be black. There we go. And now we should just be able to do something like this.data.draw care x, y, f, g, v, g. Cool. So now this should be okay. Then down here, the console dot. So I can just replace this with level.draw to console. All right, let's see if I got all that stuff wrapped up nicely. Oop, this not defined. Oh, am I confusing my languages again? Bouncing right now. I'm back in. Yeah, I am. I'm bouncing back and forth between Java and Python, so it's confusing my poor brain. Yeah, there we go. Except for our character isn't showing up because we are still blitting that this one character. Now let's see what this draw care. Also draw care. I jump to that definition. Let me see if I can. About here. There we go. Set care, get care, draw care. Ellipses, interesting. What is this ellipses class? Interesting. Is that? This is level. Interesting. Is this this might be something in Python I don't know about. Let's take a look. So Python ellipsis arg. Interesting. So that is just like a normal, weird. Does it like that? Yeah, there we go. Weird. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, some languages have a concept of an ellipsis. I didn't know that Python had it either. Cool. Several German viewers. Interesting. Nice. Okay, so this is right now. Right now, all level is doing is just wrapping a console, but that's okay. I'm thinking also what I want is maybe a scene to kind of be the main, like a singleton scene to kind of. Well, see, like Python does have they have sequences. Like you can you can just throw literals around pretty easy. I'm not quite sure. Let me just do a little further reading so I understand it. But yeah, built-in constants. The special value used in conjunction with extended slicing syntax. So I know what slicing is. It's curious. I've just never seen it as an arg. Ellipsis slicing syntax. Hmm. Hmm. Usually with slicing, you can do something like a equals range 10, or yeah, so a equals list of a. We say a at 0 is 0, a slice 0 to 4 is range 0 to 4. Let's just make a list of a to make it easier to see. Okay, so a at 0, 4 is just that, comma, dot, 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 7. Yeah, I'm still kind of fuzzy on what that's actually doing. 1:2, comma. That's the same syntax they're using. List indices must be integer slicers, but not tuple. Weird. There we go. Okay, so let's add. I want to add a scene. Pi. Of type object. And this is going to have all the. This is going to know about all the entities, and it's going to be a singleton thing, so things can query. Like, is this space available, or is it blocked? And if it's blocked, is it blocked by what? And in Python, you have a couple of options when implementing a singleton pattern. You can do it in the kind of the classical way, which is where you just have a single instance and you grab it. Or Python also has the concept of what is called the Borg singleton pattern, where you can have multiple. You can new up as many scenes as you want, but they all have the exact same shared state, and that is just by like you can copy over the all the data members, or you can not copy, but you can like dynamically, or you can set the dict um, of this object to like a global dict, and they all use the same attributes and methods and stuff, which is kind of crazy. But for right now, I'm not going to worry about making a singleton. Blah, 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 again, I'm probably going to add another draw method to it. Draw self console and pass. Then what I can do is right now this game is kind of managing both the level and the player, and it would be nice if the scene did all that, and then the game really all it did is just created like a scene and maybe some other stuff. So I'm just trying to separate out who owns what and who's in charge of what. Cool. So the level is that. So level is going to be the thing you navigate. The scene is going to be like a scene root. It's going to be a collection of things. So let's say, simply, we could say something like from player import player, from level import level. And then here we have self dot entities. That is a list, and self level equals a new level, and it's of size 40 by 30. Maybe we could say self dot entities dot append player. So this adds a new player instance to the entities list, and then for here, what we can say is self.level.draw to the console, and then for entity and self.entities for every entity that we know about, call their draw method. So entity draw console. So as long as these entities admit this draw method, we should be all right. Mazonic says, "What is this lunch break roguelike thingy?" So this lunch break roguelike thingy is just a small series I started on a whim to spend an hour during my lunch break every day to make a small roguelike game in Python. Don't worry, I'm still definitely working on Delver. I spent all morning working on Delver stuff, taking a small break to do this, and then I will be back to Delver afterwards. And I'll have my regular Delver stream on Sunday at noon. This lunch break roguelike is only during the weekday. Cool. So the level is there. We have a scene. There we go. So now in here, all we really need is say something like scene equals scene. We also need to from scene import scene. There we go. And then for our game loop, all we need is a scene.draw console. And then we need a scene handle events, I guess, so the player can get their events actually. So let's do that. Scene handle events. And here in scene, I'm going to add a handle events method. Takes in an event. And right now, really, kind of this is not the best way to do it. But for every for entity and entities, we're going to notify every entity of every event. I think eventually in the future I'd like to do like a little like a subscribe notify system, like an event system that lets entities opt into what messages they want to send or receive. But right now everybody's just going to get everything because it's quick, and I'm only giving myself an hour a day to work on this, so I gotta move fast. Cool, so there we go. So that should handle that. So there we go. So the scene draw everything, handle the event. So we may want to flip this around too. This is draw the scene, and this is handle input slash events. There we go. And here, that looks okay. Real quick, I'm just going to say the same thing, self.level draw character, just so we know that we're actually this stuff is actually working. Go and let's give that a shot and see what I've goofed. Cool, so I didn't goof, and actually that's working out all right. Cool. We have our happy little at, and we have our wall. that's cool. What to do? Yeah, so I'm pushing things in the scene so the like the player can query saying the scene is this given location. Can I traverse it or not? And the scene will be able to check the level, and it will be able to check all the other entities that exist to see if the player can pass through there. So we should be aiming at maybe hopefully having collision detection done by today. We'll see. We'll see. So let me just commit what I got right now. Okay, so I think I can just do a git add dot. Yeah. So git commit -m, and this is refactoring game objects. Git push origin. Cool. Source control is nice because one, it doesn't. The source code lives out in the cloud, so if my machine were to die, I can still get back to my my code, and also I can play around and be confident that if I don't like ruin my code base. Typically, source control is used when you're having multiple people working the same stuff, but there are use cases for it for a single person project. Bite Blind says, did everyone ever tell you that I have a very expressive face? I make so many expressions while speaking. Hopefully, thanks. Hopefully they make sense and they're not just crazy faces, because that would probably be get tiring to look at. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So real quick. So something like. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a. This is again. Call this current. So what I'm going to do is. So these attributes are instance level attributes. It's like entities and level and stuff. These all exist to an instance of scene when you knew it. But this one is a class level attribute. So what I'm going to do is here at the end, I'm going to say if not scene dot current scene. So if there's no current scene, scene dot current scene equals self. So what this does is this allows us to get a handle of this scene from other classes. So for example, the player could just maybe at the top here, they could say from scene import scene. And if they ever need to, like say in the update logic, they need to say like something like they can say scene current scene, and that will return the instance of the scene that's currently been instantiated, like the main scene. I can refactor that too. Maybe main scene makes more sense than current scene. Dot check collision or something like that. Could be cool. That's what I'm trying to work towards, anyways. Let me see. Gotcha. Yeah, I've never been super expressive with my hands. I'm not a hand talker, but I guess I do make facial expressions. Cool. So that should. Let me just real quickly here. We can do something like key down, up, down, left, right. I think I can just do a key. So elif event key char upper equals s. So we press the s key. I just want it to print scene current scene. So just to verify we are getting a handle of that. Oop, missing parentheses and call to print. Yep, because I'm using Python 3. There we go. Cannot import name scene. Furious. From scene import scene. Why can't it do that? I'm seeing import scene. Is there some sort of recursive thing going on? Because scene imports player, player can import scene. Does it already exist? Yeah, scene not defined. Joshua says, how long did it take you to get the flow of doing something like this? Like streaming, or like this, like programming? Because one, I think I'm a little bit better than the other. Man, I think I'm getting into a so like scene imports player, and then player tries to import scene. That's not working. There's a way to get around this. Python circular import. Yep. Yeah, this is just a structure thing. Oh, like programming? Yep. Yep. No, I've been I don't know. I've been programming most of my life. I graduated from university. Wow, 7 years ago now. So yeah, that's a thing. Um, yeah, I've worked for both Lexmark and Microsoft as a software engineer, and right now I'm trying to do my own thing and see how that works. Uh, uh, I know I'm already ancient. When I wake up in the morning, I'm not as surprised I used to be. So I definitely understand that. Um, I just do import. Is that a safer thing to do? Yeah, there we go. Cool. So it does basically, this is just the object, and this is like the memory address where it lives at. So yeah, that was the trick. So yeah, it's probably better practice do that anyway. So um, let me just fix these up real quick. So import player, import level, and down here I just do player.player, and then level.level, because this is the module and this is the class. And when you do use the import from, I believe it goes through and it executes all that code, versus just importing the module doesn't necessarily do that. I thought it exited. Yeah, so over here, hopefully you can, well, somehow, some way, you can be able to see that it's printing out scene. Yeah, so this basically just means I have a reference to my scene that I can uh, basically have it query the state of the world. I'm in I'm in my mid-30s. Blah, 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 blah. I don't do that anymore. Um, let's just add a method here for detecting if it is def. Basically, I'm checking a collision or seeing if it's blah, 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 check collision. I don't want to worry about names right now. And position. Let me see. We did one humble bundle. I think we did a humble roguelike bundle a year or two back, probably 2 years back now that I think of it. So check collision. X, y equals. I'm trying to think. Do I want to do it that way, or should I just do x, y up here? X, y. Let's say right now this can just return a true or false, and we're only going to check the level. So we can just say if self.data.getChar where's that TDL documentation. There we go. This is the good stuff. Then I want TDL console. I think getChar just takes a an X and Y chord. So yeah, getChar X, Y, and actually I just need to say something like it returns a triple, which is character, foreground, background. So you could say char, fg, bg equals that, and I could just return char equals that. So right now, yeah, I think that should be okay. And then in player, we do have the scene now, so let's make a move method, self, direction. So that's all this is doing here is just incrementing or decrementing this, right? So destination equals, or actually, let's say direction, dx dy equals direction, dest equals self dot position plus dx, self dot position plus dy. If scene dot check collision dest, pretty sure that'll work. Pass. What I want is not, because I'm gonna return. So check collision. I think it should return true if it does collide. I think is how I implemented it. Yeah. So let's look here. So we'll say let's say self-deposition equals self-deposition plus dx and plus dy. And then here I can just say self-move. 0, -1. That should be equivalent. Then that's positive. And then this one 0. Ba, 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 ba. Yeah, no. So Marticus says never got that bundle. Wish I did. Didn't have the money at the time. Yeah, it was. We were in good company. There were some cool um some cool games in that bundle. Um, uh, Pipeline says think the choice of bundling will have potential future sales hurt. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I try to be positive about these things. In my perspective, there are millions of new folks getting into gaming every year. So potentially, the customer base isn't shrinking. It's not like we're selling, uh, like we're not trying to hit the any fads or any stuff that is I don't know, we're trying to build a good product that lasts a while and hopefully it doesn't. Hopefully bundling doesn't impact sales because we do plan on releasing later this year, and that's why we're avoiding sales until we release. Threnna says, "Can you show me the software?" Um, what software do you want to see? Byblind says, "What do I do with books and notes in Delver? First time playing in spite of having it from my library." Um, Books are just junk items, but there are uses for junk items. Okay, so this should do this. Let's run it and see what happens. Missing one question. Why? Yeah, so that didn't unpack like I was hoping it would. Oh well. Let me just make sure that was the error. Yeah. Check collision. Self Y. It should be correct. I'm passing in two params now. Strange. Oh, because I'm calling it as a class method, not as a. Uh, there we go. If I call it as an instance method, that makes more sense. Now that should fix that. Nope. Scene has an attribute data. What? Oh, self.level. Duh. So self.level. There we go. Jeez, Joshua. Level object has no object get checks. I need to pipe that through. So I have level has draw care and def get care self x, y return self data dot get care x, y. There we go. So it is letting me walk on top of that, which it shouldn't be. Let me just real quick. Let me just add in a print statement here. $32, 35. Oh, let's just returning the key code. Yeah. Okay. That's fixable. What is the way to do that? Is there an A2I for Python? Is it just .a2i? Yeah, there we go. So it should be something like oh, we're looking at Python 2. Come on, Python 3. A2i got removed in Python 3. Interesting. Python 3 A2i. I'm sure there's a cute way to do it. Marticus, what parts of Python are you not grokking? Feel free to let me know. Is it word? Yep, there we go. Return the ord of car. There we go. Okay. Let's quit the interpreter. Yeah, sometimes I just jump into the interpreter typing commands just to see what it does. Okay. Extreme. Oh, psh. Come on, Joshua. Other way around. I guess I get spoiled working in fancier IDEs because they make life a little bit easier. Yeah, so now we have collision detection working. So I can't move over that little number hash, whatever you want to call it. So potentially I could make make a maze. So I think maybe next time I will use keyboard, or I will use mouse events to actually be able to paint a little maze, and we will be getting a large step closer towards having a game. But right now, we've just got collision detection working, and that is a cool thing to have. Let me remove that. We don't need that print statement. Let's look at our changes. Git status. So we've modified a few things. Let's do a git diff. Yeah, so we're wrapping some functionality in level and in player. In player, we refactored the movement to its own method that checks to see if it asks the scene instance if there is something in its way. This is the destination. I need to play around with this. I thought I could unpack this, but maybe not. Let me try that real quick, just because I have 7 minutes left. Let's make the most of these 7 minutes with you. Self stuff is whenever you have instance class instances, you need to have self with that. It's more OO stuff. Thank you kindly. Yeah, if you folks are interested in Delver, I do a weekly development stream of Delver here on this channel every Sunday at noon, and that usually is 2 hours long, but sometimes it can go longer depending upon the day. But yeah, no, I appreciate you checking out Delver. That is right now one of the ways that I make income, which is really cool. So let's do this. Let's do a Python. Let's create a method called foo, which takes a x and a y, and it just returns x plus y. Dang it. There we go. Return. There we go. We say foo of 1 and 2, or 21 and 2 is 23. If I said dest equals 1 comma 2, I should be able to say foo and then unpack that out of dest. Yeah, that totally works. So let me I can clean up a little bit of my code this way. Yeah, because let me think. That takes an x and y. That takes an x and a y. Yeah, it's okay. I guess leaving x and y's are fine. Okay, Tesla, I didn't know your game got greenlit. That's awesome. Congratulations. And yeah, this is just debug code. We can blow that away. Now let's clean up all these comments because I don't need them anymore. Cool. Yeah, I might as well just Y. That X and Y. I guess I can just leave this individual right now. It's fine. This looks fine. Let's give it a run to make sure I haven't broken it because I don't want to check in broken code. Yep. Move. Broke it again. Oh yeah. So I no longer need to wrap these in extra parens since I changed the signature of the move method. So I can just clean this up. Good thing I checked. Yep. The X is not defined. Geez, Joshua. X and Y. There. Whoop. Yeah. So collision still is working. I happen to do a quick up and over rather than. Yeah, that's a big design thing too. Is whether we should allow diagonal movement or not. That's kind of a divisive thing in like roguelike design. Some people love it, some people hate it. So maybe I'll give myself some time to stew on that. But let's go ahead and commit our changes. Yep. So cleaning that up. Yeah. Cool. Quit. Git add dot git status git commit dash m basic collision detection git push. And also I need to do a git tag dash a f2 dash m b so to this is where we will start off next time. Cool. All right, folks. Let me see. I think that's it. It's been a great stream. Thank you for popping by. This is still kind of low key. I don't know if I should. I think I might promote this a little bit. Maybe I think I'm gonna stick around for. Maybe I'll try this for the first week, and if I actually keep doing it, I'll start talking about it on Twitter and stuff like that. I know Delver is a custom engine written in Java and OpenGL built on the libgdx framework. Cool. So, all right, folks. I'm Joshua. This has been Lunch Break Roguelike, and I will see you tomorrow at 12 o'clock Pacific to keep working on our little roguelike game. Take care, everybody.